staff town hall of the year. We have 24 people joined, so I'll go a little slow because I think others might be logging on as we go. I hope everyone's having a good day. Okay.
Your microphone.
I'm getting some very professional technology advice here. So let's kick off. I would firstly like to kick off by acknowledging the traditional owners and the lands that we're meeting today. Obviously, we're spread out through different parts of New South Wales. I'm on Darug and Guringai land, with the offices at Unison Works and Packworks at Thornley. The Packworks guys are really busy today, doing really important work. Some of the team are packing seniors cards, which will go out to the seniors in New South Wales so they can get their discounts and the benefits that they deserve. And then others are packing insect repellent packages, which are just in time for summer. So again, two really important pieces of work. A lot of the groundworks team are also in the building today, which I'll perhaps talk about later. So we'll work through the agenda. First of all, we've got a Q&A at the end of the session. So there's a QR code on the screen now. So if you have any questions, if you haven't already, then please kind of click through and put the questions, and then Mike, Helen, and myself will answer the questions that are the best of our abilities this afternoon. In a moment, I'm going to hand over to Anthony, who's got a really lovely purpose story, and then that will follow up with Anthony and Matty from Unison Groundworks talking about the A-Team, which is an amazing initiative. Today is a really big day for Matty, or this week. It's his birthday on Monday. Today he's graduated. He had his gown and his cap, and he's got his horticulture certificate. So we've got the external trainers in today, which is great. And also he'll be sharing what he and his colleagues are achieving with the A-Team. So really important work. After that session, I'll give a CEO update. I'll talk a little bit about the state of the sector, how Unison's going, Unison's kind of 2025, and then a little bit on what we're expecting for 2026. I'll then pass over to Helen, who can talk briefly about the staff survey, and then on to Mike, who can give an update on things related to property and IT and systems. That will conclude the presentations. Then it'll be time for a quick Q&A session, and then we'll be done. So we're going to have a bit of seat shuffling. I'm going to hand over to Anthony.
Good afternoon, everyone. For those that don't know me online, so I'm the director that oversees our community and employment services. I'm excited to speak to you today about a client-led initiative, or actually led by our team as well, around making sure that the voices of our clients are heard through our services in community and employment services. So a few months ago, my team and I had a discussion around an initiative to introduce a client reference group led by our clients to let us know what they want from their services. This was quickly established, and we had some clients who joined that team and met with us, and they told us what they want from the reference group. It's been an exciting time. We've met monthly with our clients, and you'll get to meet Matty a little bit later after I've shared my bit. He's going to talk you through a bit about his experience with the team. So the team are called the A-Team. So this is a name that they decided they wanted, and they have shared their ideas with us over the last few months. And one of the initiatives that they wanted to share with us was that they wanted to connect with their peers more often, something that they used to do in the past and something that they wanted to see now and in the future. So with my team's support, they worked together to build their first get together with all the clients and had a Halloween event last month. So you'll see some photos online of some of the exciting activities that they did on the day. And this initiative will be held every month where all our teams will get together and all the clients will make connections with each other. So on the day, there were a lot of activities, and you can see the guys doing a few activities on the day. But for the most part, everyone was just spending time with each other and reconnecting with each other. And some people hadn't seen each other for years. So this was a direct initiative from our clients. We listened. We need to know what they want, and we need to make it happen. So that our services are tailored to what they want. So yeah, moving forward, every month we're having a get together, a barbecue in the park, just some connections to be made with our guys. Yeah, so some exciting times ahead, and I'm really excited to see what the future holds and the initiatives that our guys present to us moving forward to make sure that we are co-designing our programs with our clients directly. Yep, so that's it from me for around the A team. And now I'm going to hand over to Lee, Maddie, and myself to have a quick chat together.
We're having some technical difficulties because we're logged on as Mike, so we can only see Mike on screen. We apologize. KU, can you please jump on and make sure we can see, because Maddie is dying to be on screen, so we don't want people to miss out.
On his other device could just jump off and then
Yeah.
come in.
Maybe, yeah.
Hey, Matty.
Oh.
We just want to make sure everyone can see you guys well.
Okay.
So that's not changing still.
Sorry, everyone.
Are you there? Can you get Mike off the screen? And then, as in, go tell Mike to get off.
Have you been out on any jobs today, or is it just the awards today?
I couldn't see
Okay.
leads.
Whereabouts have you been today?
Hornsby,
I went to one of the houses in Hornsby today.
did you?
Do you do Arthur Street?
Yes.
I was there this morning. You weren't there today, though, were you?
No, I went to Henry's mum.
Ah, Henry's mum had. Because yeah, that's right. She lives. Ginny, she lives local, doesn't she? So nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna attempt. I don't know if my camera. I can't see.
Cameron.
We're gonna try something different.
Potentially,
Okay.
should we cut over? Could Helen do her piece? No. Okay. Just stick to it, Lee.
Okay, you can see me now. We're live on here. Very good. Can we focus?
Good.
Great.
Sorry, Maddie, we're getting ourselves in order.
Great. Again, very sorry, everyone, and Matty, sorry to you too.
Yeah.
We're keeping you away from your colleagues and your busy work. So, again, happy birthday for Monday. Congratulations on your achievement with your horticulture.
Yeah.
And thank you for joining us today and being willing to talk to us. So what I might do, because the A team is partly with Anthony, maybe I'll get Anthony to ask you some questions, and that way I can get out of the screen and you can see Anthony as well.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lee. So Maddie, maybe before we start, do you want to just introduce yourself to everyone? I know Lee did a good job at and telling everyone that it's your birthday next Monday, the
Yeah.
most important part. But did you want to let everyone know who you are?
Yeah. I'm from Matthew Willow, on groundwork.
Great. And what sort of work do you do at Groundworks?
My lawn and do the gardening.
Yeah. And I know I was talking a little bit about the A team. So do you want to tell everyone a bit about the A team and what we've been doing?
Yeah, we've been talking to other people in the centers.
Yeah. And what sort of things do we chat about?
Activities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And have you given any suggestions to the team? Can you
Uh,
think of any?
yeah. Hang out together
Yeah. And what about the ride on?
and the ride on.
Yeah. So Maddie.
New ride on.
Yeah, yeah. So Maddie's been advocating a lot for his team and saying that we want more work. We want to get
Yeah.
out there and do some more jobs.
Yeah.
And to do that, we need some equipment, right? And you've been talking about the ride-on, and there was something else you've been talking about as well, the blower as well.
Yeah, the blower.
Yeah, yeah. And what other things are we going to be doing? Not just with so you know how we've been talking about the guys in CAS and
Yeah.
how we're connecting, and they did the Halloween event. And you said that you wanted to connect with the guys with yeah,
Pathway.
yeah. And what are we doing with Packworks moving forward
Uh,
so we can connect together?
what are we doing?
Do you remember?
Not.
Do you want me to let everyone know? So every 3 months, the Packworks and Groundworks crew are going to get together and have a barbecue and a bit of a celebration event to acknowledge everyone's achievements.
Yeah.
And that was something that Maddie shared with us that they wanted to do, was make sure that they're connecting with each other. So we've spoken to Keyshaw
Yeah.
and to Zach, and we've come together and we said, we've got an event, let's do that to make sure that we recognize everyone's hard work that they do here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you guys are out there every week doing some really great stuff. And
Yeah.
we want to recognize that. And then also we get to have a barbecue and a really good time together. So I
Yeah.
think that will be a nice chance for you to connect with some of your peers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what are we doing for the next one? When's the next
Wednesday next week.
yeah, and do you know where are we going for that one?
Coffee shop.
Yeah. Did you give the suggestion for that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're heading down the road to a Lebanese cafe, I think it is, for our next one.
Yeah.
And we're going to connect with all the rest of the team and find out what we can do a little bit better and what we're doing well at Unison and make some plans for next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Is there anything else you wanted to share today?
Nah.
No. Cool. Thanks, Maddie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What's it?
Thank you. Thank you, Danny. I think some of these challenges are down to me. I didn't bring my laptop. So you always need a good plan and you need to execute well. So I'll just, like I said, give you a bit of an update. Difficult times with their technology. You might hear that's Matty being congratulated by his colleagues, which is absolutely amazing. I guess a culture celebration is what is really important, and I think we could learn a lot from Unison Works. So yeah, it's been a difficult time for Unison and more broadly in the sector. So I'll just give you a few details of what's happening in the sector. A couple of months ago, the minister in charge of NDIS and other things set out a bit of a roadmap where he announced the introduction of Thriving Kids, which is an attempt to be able to provide services for young kids generally with mild to medium autism instead of joining the NDIS, getting services, suitable services in other ways. That was a big statement. Also said that the level of growth in the NDIS needs to come down, but still grow, but down to a level about 5 to 6% per year. Finally, he indicated a strong desire for there to be provider registration. So at the moment, organizations like Unison are registered and we have additional costs where we're competing with organizations or businesses or sole traders that don't have that, which is we feel unfair and not necessarily great for clients. So that is kind of the roadmap in terms of government's priorities. You probably know that the pricing in the NDIS is probably too low for providers like us, quality registered service providers. That's having an impact beyond Unison. And you might see in the papers or on the news that a number of organizations have failed, coming out of business or struggling. And unless things happen, there will be more examples of that. Positively, the government and the bureaucrats can see that and they understand that. I think in the maybe 3 years' time, maybe there will be a new approach to pricing, which should favor organizations like Unison. But the government also understand that there are big problems and they can't wait for that long. So potentially some relief coming our way as early as next financial year. But we'll need to keep our fingers crossed. So more positive than it has been. But at the same time, whilst the agency might increase the price, the hourly rate they pay us, what they're doing to us and other providers, so effectively to many NDIS participants, is reducing the number of hours people are funded for or the types of supports. We're seeing that when people's plans come back with lower values, and then we obviously need to adjust our services to fit what the package that the clients have. So that's broadly the sector. What about Unison? Unison never has been and never should be all about money. I know if you're in a service or you're a client, you might feel that, but that's absolutely not the case. Every organization needs to break even. Every organization needs to be sustainable. That's what we're doing at Unison. A while ago, we were operating more poorly than most organizations, and we were having difficult times. Unison was losing $1 million a month. That's huge. The last 2 years have been very busy and very hard to try and turn that around. Positively, we've gone a very long way towards that. We're still losing money, but the first 4 months this financial year, compared to that of 2 years ago, the rate of our overrun is 1/8 of what it was before. So we're nearly there. And I just pause to say thank you for everyone. So clearly that being the impact of that is felt in all of our services, also in our enabling functions, which are supporting the changes required to bring around that turnaround. So where did if we are 7/8 of the way through that recovery, how do we do that? The first and possibly the biggest is changing the way we deliver support and effectively provide the quantum, the number of hours of support that people are funded for. No less, but no more either. That's been a big change. In part, that's been made more possible because a couple of years ago, we consolidated the number of houses. So where we had houses with many vacancies, we vacated, which enabled us to better support our clients and give a more stable environment for workers. In addition to that, 12 months or so ago, there was a big reduction in our corporate headcount. We reduced our corporate staff by about 1/3, a significant toll, which the work doesn't go away predominantly. So we've tweaked a little bit, but people are doing an amazing job with less resource. Also, at the start of 2025, we reduced the ELT, and it reduced again further. So now the ELT is just myself, Mike, and Helen, and you'll hear from Mike and Helen this afternoon too. So how are we going to fix the remaining 1/8? I must say, all things being equal, we're not far off, or we are about there. So firstly, we need to really keep on top of our rosters and make sure that we're not using agency staff, but get the right hours for what people are funded. Secondly, and you'll be aware that we've recently gone through a client services management restructure, which was quite significant. So we've reduced from having 10 managers to 6 managers. And with that, unfortunately, comes some job losses. The third and positive and more positive component of getting that last 1/8 of the way to breaking even or is client growth and renewing the number of clients and the mix of clients that we're supporting. And we're making some good progress in that regard. I'd now like to kind of just share a personal story of my 2025. So 2025 has been a big year for me at Unison. I knew that there was a lot of reform, a lot of change, a lot of lifting to do. But then on the home front too, my second and youngest daughter, Eden, was going through the HSC. So I knew it was going to be a big year, obviously for Eden, but then for us in the house. Now, I've not done the HSC myself. Like many people here, I grew up overseas. But also like many people here, many people have got family members, children who have been through, going through, or will go through the HSC. So it's a common road that we follow. So this year, poor Eden, she's had to make sacrifices. She's had to not go out. She's had to not do things. She's had to focus on her work, hard work. It's been a slog getting through the year, almost kind of counting down the days and the weeks to her final exam. And it felt like a marathon for her, I'm sure. Positively, she's now through her exams. She's done, and literally she's kicking back at the beach. She's not quite sure what lies ahead. She'll need to wait on the results that come next month. But she knows because of her hard work, and despite all the uncertainties for young people or anyone in the workplace, but despite those uncertainties, that she's got a bright future ahead. For me, this is the same journey that Unison has been on. We've got a bright future ahead. So for Unison and for Eden, 2025 has been a tough but a necessary year. But also it's been worth it. We don't know how 2026 and beyond will follow through for Eden or for Unison. But I'm confident that I'm sure there'll be a few humps and bumps, but we are set up for success. Just like to recap on 2025, we've achieved a lot. At the last town hall, Helen spoke about our clear strategic directions. I've spoken and Mike will talk about our properties that we've got. Our clients are living in better homes than they were 12 months ago. We've had significant improvements in safety and support for both clients and for employees. We've had so many great initiatives. I'd call out the Team Leaders Community of Practice as one, where we are upskilling team leaders, supporting them, enabling them to do their best job and to support you as best as possible. Just like to take a minute to see how we're measuring up. So at the last town hall, we spoke about the Latrobe study that demonstrated that the quality of supports at Unison are as good and better than most other providers. Amazing. Helen will talk to you about the staff survey. We've recently done a client survey. The results were great. They were up a little bit on last year's. More people participated, more than 200 in total, half of those or more being clients. Again, some pockets where we need to improve and be consistent, but 80% of the respondents said that they were happy and more very happy with Unison. 80% the respondents said that we helped and more helped a lot for the clients achieving their goals. And 90% or 91% said that they were happy, or a greater proportion very happy with their disability support professionals. So again, a sign of good health. What I observe going around, I see good service. I dropped in pretty much unannounced at Beaumont Hills a couple of weeks ago, and it's beautiful to see the support that the clients were getting. One person supporting one of the clients outside, demonstrating everything to do with active support. It was best practice. So great work. Other people talk to me. People say, I can see what's going on at Unison on the socials. It looks great. It looks like an exciting place to be. This week, 3 of us visited Mount Wilga Hospital, and the team there said that things have noticeably improved in the last few months at Unison. And when I talk to staff and get feedback, often people say, we're confident, we can see that we're moving forward. So I think as a barometer of where we are in 2025, we're sitting in a good place, and that's down to your hard work. So thank you. So I'll finish up soon. What about 2026? What do we have ahead? Firstly, remember this, we will be starting with a much stronger base. Unison is far more secure. Each of our services are more secure, and the rosters are more stable. Though, again, there'll be some humps and bumps and some surprises along the track, but we will be starting 2026 in a better place than 2025, which was again, in turn, better than 2024. We'll continue our focus on quality supports. So active support, focusing on client goals and ensuring that our clients are engaged in their communities. We'll keep the strong focus on the need for client growth to renew our base and to grow our client base. This is really important. Yes, this will help Unison, but this will also help our teams. There'll be more shifts, more hours, more opportunities within Unison. And as importantly, it will help more people who are looking for service. This week has been an exciting week. Daniel has moved into his new home, first time I think out of home. Paddy, Glory, and the team have done an amazing job welcoming him, and he's got off to a good start on his Unison journey. His mother's also really happy and proud. We will continue improving the systems and processes. DSPs are the most important part of the business because they touch our clients every day and are tirelessly working to support our clients to live a great life. So in 2026, I would expect the DSPs will get focused training, better tools, and sharper shift offers for any additional shifts. We'll continue strengthening our communication, both with you through town halls, through attending the 6 weekly team meetings and through in Unison, but also improve our communications with families. We'll advocate for our clients and others in the sector, and we will elevate the voices of our clients. I think the A team is a great example of that, and I hope you enjoyed listening to Matty. So just to recap, like Eden, I'm not sure how 26 will play out, but we have now invested the time and the effort. We've made the sacrifices, so we're now set up for success. Eden's now taken her well-earned break, and coming up, many of us will take a good break over the holiday season. Understandably, many more will be continuing. They'll be working through supporting our clients. So I'd like to thank those working through. But generally, I would like to thank all of our DSPs in SIL, in our other services, our TLs and our managers, everyone in the enabling functions, which have worked so hard this year, and also my ELT colleagues, Helen and Mike. Together, we've achieved so much this year. So thank you. Now I'd like to pass over to Helen.
Thank you, Lee, and good afternoon, everyone. I want to talk to you about our pulse check, and at Unison, we are dedicated to ways of working that support all staff feeling safe and respected. We are also working and committed to supporting all of our staff to align their behaviours and ways of working to the Unison vision and values. We use an annual survey to give us an indication of how well we're doing. And this year in 2025, we did a pulse check. So that's a much shorter survey of a discrete group, 2 groups. So we used the same questions that we used in previous years, and we also focused on inviting responses from only 2 groups. One of those groups was the team leaders, and the other group was our enabler functions, otherwise known as corporate staff. We chose those 2 mainly because they had the lowest rating levels of engagement, the lowest scores overall in their experience of work at Unison than any other of our cohorts, groups of staff. So what the results this year showed us, and bearing in mind we only had 6 questions, it showed that we had worsened in terms of workload being reasonable, 8% drop. It also showed year on year that work-life balance was kind of the same. We were hoping for a better work-life balance. Also, direct manager shows appreciation was about on balance, and I'd note in previous years that was in our top 6 rating. So we were okay with that level of response saying the same. My opinion counts. We put a lot of effort into strengthening how we listen, ensuring people feel heard, and taking action on the things that we hear. And we've got some improvement, notable improvement in that regard. So we were really happy with that. ELT, effectively communicating, that's risen the most, a 20% rise. And I would say in part that is because there's only 3 of us, and we spend a lot of time making sure that the 3 of us are saying consistent messages, and we're very clear on what messages are important for us to communicate, and we've got more ways of communicating. Going forward, we want to intensify our efforts on workload and work-life balance. These things, these 2 areas of intense focus, fit in nicely with the ongoing trends that we have heard in the engagement results. 2022, 23, 24, we had consistent patterns of results. I'm not going to highlight the details of this slide, but we each year have analysed what are our areas of strength. We want to hold those areas strong. We also identify what are the areas where we need to improve and grow. We also take note of where we have most difference, both up and down. And you'll note there, workload, decline in manager talking about career, and ELT having clients at the centre of decision making. So from the analysis of the results in previous years, we have an action plan. They are grouped into 4 key areas. We will continue working on ELT and our leaders, that's the managers and operations directors, connecting with staff. We're going to continue working in that area. We're going to continue improving communication, as Lee identified. We're going to, in 2026, establish a new performance management career development approach, and we're also going to continue strengthening clear expectations and accountabilities of roles. You'll note we've highlighted there delineations. That's a HR term. So effectively, we want to be very clear. What is the role of the director, operations director? That's Daniel Flewitt and Anthony Coniglio. Sorry for clumsy pronunciation of your last name, Anthony. And also the 4 managers in the SIL area, team leaders, DSPs. What is the role expectations? And how do we support people to be effective in the achievement of those roles? That will help realistic workloads. So those are our commitments, actions that we'll continue working on in 2025 so that we can create a more harmonious, respectful, and purposeful workplace. So going forward in 2026, we will be changing our engagement culture survey. We will also be working on the key focus areas through these 4 initiatives to enhance our management style that places more emphasis on effective communication, also on initiatives to make it easier to do what's best for our clients. And so we look forward to lifting our work-life experience so that our clients benefit most. So that's it from me on the engagement, and I'm going to pass over to you, Mike.
Oh, just checking there's no echo. Occasionally I have issues with IT. Anyway, on to IT. There's a few key areas we're looking at with IT. Firstly, looking at the Lumery. So Lumery is now available to all DSPs on the desktop. That should make it a lot easier to get information out. Importantly, Schedulo is still there as a mobile app, and I encourage you all to update your Schedulo app because the latest version is better than the last one. We're also looking at other system improvements, basically to make people's lives easier. So Workplace faded away recently, not through our doing, but because Facebook, which owns it, closed it down. And we're looking to replace it with some functionality in Teams. So I encourage you all to download Teams. It's a great way to communicate with your teams, and going forwards in the new year, there'll be communications across the organization using Teams. We're looking closely at data. It's to some extent the thing that runs the business. We need quality data in order to get quality insights, quality reporting. It's what sort of feeds a lot of the functionality we're trying to push, which is aligned to scheduling, client funding, and everything. So super important for us to get that right. We're also looking at having better backups, just general better IT management. We're looking closely at hardware that hasn't been tracked well necessarily in the past. We're looking at auditing it, working out what we have, making sure it's all in the right place. Cybersecurity, it's a bit of a buzzword. Looking at insurance renewals, it's the word that jumps out at you in every graph. It's the line that's tracking upwards. So we'll continue with the cybersecurity training in a similar vein where we're sort of monitoring Wi-Fi remotely, which again helps making sure our systems are all safe. And we've upgraded to Windows 11 across the whole organization over the last weeks and months. So there's lots of things happening in the background to make the IT area the best it can be to facilitate the business and make life simple. On to property. Lots of exciting things happening in property. Recently, the foundation bought a house at Asquith. So again, that just highlights the support we get from the foundation and the sort of drive to make the properties we have the best they can be. We've got new rentals recently at St Paul's Ave in Castle Hill and John Miller Street in Ryde. Again, we're trying to improve the quality of the properties we have by replacing properties that are not ideal for their current cohort, be it because the properties are aging or the cohort's aging, and moving to properties that are just better suited. Super important part of the service we offer. And really excitingly, this is really exciting for myself, looking from a finance point of view, is the growth of potentials with SDA partners. So we've got half a dozen projects that are in play now that will come to fruition over the next 12 months or so. Hamlin Terrace on the Central Coast should be ready for new clients in January, February, early in the new year. Thornley, where I'm speaking from now, has a project that should come to fruition in the middle of 2026. And that'll be closely followed by some units at Wyong, and beyond that, towards the end of 2026, some houses at Mount Cola, Mount Ku-ring-gai, and also Century Drive, which is a partnership with Kinkera. So they're with a variety of organisations, with Good Housing, with Vera Living, with Kinkera. So lots of exciting things happening in the property space, and I think that shows the sort of support we're getting from the foundation and how we're setting ourselves up to be a good quality organisation, not simply a financially sustainable organisation, but a good organisation that is also financially sustainable. So I want to just shout out to the IT and property teams for making all this happen. And that's it from me. And I think the next item on the agenda is Q&A. So hopefully there's lots of exciting questions to answer. It isn't too late, I don't think.
Okay. So we had maybe
I'll just dive in. There's issues of muting, which I'm very familiar with. So question one was, and I'll read it verbatim. Many DSPs feel undervalued and fear losing even more hours. What is leadership doing to improve job stability, recognizing the work and ensuring DSPs feel supported and valued? I'll start off the answer here because it sort of ties in with what I've just been talking about a little bit with the property, and then hand over to Helen and Lee to finish it off. But yeah, I acknowledge over the last year and a half, rosters have changed. Some significantly, many on more than one occasion. This has been necessary in order to build financial sustainability across the organisation. Simplistically put, if we aren't financially sustainable, we will not be around in the medium to long term. So that is almost a prerequisite of survival, is to be financially sustainable. And a prerequisite of financial sustainability is to have rosters that align to client funding. So that's been a sort of necessary, difficult process to go through. And I acknowledge that's been very hard on lots of people. So now we are focused on tightly controlling costs, aligning costs and rosters to funding. So it's likely there will be changes in the future because client needs change. Funding can go both up and down, and the hours, the DSP hours will follow that funding essentially. We are looking at process efficiency across the organization. So that will enable us to fill a higher proportion of the rosters with perm and part-time staff with less reliability on agency and casuals. So that work is happening, and that is seeing some benefits. But ultimately, the one thing that will make there more DSP hours across the organization is growth. And that is why the SDA partnerships are so exciting, because ultimately they will result in more clients, more revenue, and thereby proportionately more DSP hours. So I'll hand over to Helen and Lee to add to that.
I should look at you there, not because you sat next to me. Mike, I think that's answered very well. I might pass over to Helen. She leads a lot of this difficult work that we take very seriously, working with our teams and our DSPs. So Helen, are you happy to?
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you.
I've met hundreds of DSPs over the last couple of years as we've needed to change rosters and discuss with staff their new shift patterns. I would acknowledge that it is really disruptive and unsettling each time you find yourself in conversations around roster pattern changes. I think Mike has spoken, and Lee, about why we need to do this. We're committed to being very thoughtful continuously about how we go about and do we need to make change. I'm really encouraged that we have stronger foundations in place. Our current work around strengthening service agreements, they are the plans we have with clients that outline what services they will get and the funding, and therefore what shifts we have and services we have to align with those plans. We're getting really sharp and accurate in that work going forward. That means less change, disruptive change on roster patterns. We also are going forward monitoring our use of service against the plans so that we don't get caught by surprise and we can make those adjustments. So they're really important foundations to add to stability of hours. We also have recently launched scheduler availability, where all of our permanent staff can note when they would like additional shifts, and our scheduling team can now target those job offers only within those available hours. And I think that strengthens stability, and it also gives opportunity for permanent staff to pick up additional work that becomes available in our working rosters. So I want to move now to recognition and staff feeling support and valued. The couple of things that we are doing new to support recognition, we will be supporting ongoing better systems and processes that make it easier for support workers to be doing their work. And I think the Lumery access is one of those important initiatives. With the improvement in our systems and our processes, mainly team leaders having dashboards, that reduces their administrative load. And we've got a whole range of other things happening. But if we can support team leaders having less of a administration demand, then they have more time available to support their staff in supporting clients. We're also reinvigorating team meetings. That means we can understand more about what the support needs of support workers are in support of our clients, so that we can take action on the things that we hear. That includes making changes with behavioural support plans, what strategies are we using with our clients that are working, which ones aren't working, how can we share that amongst the DSPs, and we can use our team meetings to understand what equipment is better. I was at a team meeting recently, and great ideas that sometimes don't get mentioned. You know, we need a new mop and bucket. I mean, those are going to make it easier. Things like what support aids, hoists, etc. do we need? Team meetings are a great way of making sure we're noting those things and taking action. Also, to support DSPs, strengthening observation, feedback, and coaching. These things are within the practice leadership. We're putting more attention on that now and going forward. I'm also very excited about a new initiative we are planning, which is Unison Awards. So in 2026, we will be recognising and acknowledging the things that all of us are doing, particularly support workers, the things that we do, the daily miracles, I'd like to say. You know, where a staff member has put in a lot of ongoing time to support a client in cooking. How do we recognise that? That will be through the Unison Awards annual event, where we can acknowledge and celebrate. So those are the main recognition supports that I wanted to highlight, Lee.
Thank you, Helen. So we've got a few questions. Sorry about all the IT issues today. I love it though. It just keeps it real. So just letting the ELT know that we have received 3 more questions, and I'm just doing a quick time check because it's 1:52. So the next question for you is, DSPs feel upper management is disconnected from daily client needs. A manager visited once in a year for 20 minutes. We have a new manager and hope things will improve. How will leadership stay engaged?
I'll pass over to you in a second, Helen, but
Yeah.
a manager should be at the house and in the house and spending time in the house with the teams and clients far more than that, clearly. But you could give probably a more considered response than my natural one.
So Lee, you speak to the commitment we have as an organisation, and then we look at how we can be very practical about what the expectations are. And some of the things we've done is, with the new client services management structure, we have been much sharper in what we expect of the operations managers. And so that talks to specific accountabilities in being on sites. And that will define, you know, how many sites for what length of duration are we consistently wanting and expecting the managers to be present. How many all-staff team meetings are we expecting managers to attend? How many practice leadership observations? What are the communication expectations seem realistic and important for support workers? And what are the expectations around ensuring actions are taken and delivered? So when we're much sharper on the expectations, then managers are more likely to meet those expectations. And then we look at what are the clutter, what are the things that distract managers from doing that? How can we address those? Also, ELT, as Lee said, are now attending all staff meetings every time. So those are some of the things we're doing to make sure leadership stays connected.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Helen. The next one we have is, when will the long service portal be available for employees in Unison?
Neither Mike or I know the answer to that, but we will put it in the next edition of In Unison. But if Helen, you may know the answer.
Yes. At the moment, the implementation of the long service leave is being developed. At this stage, we are expecting mid-2026. We will update you, as Lee said.
Thank you.
Next one, could we get an update on how Unison is doing bringing in new clients or any in progress?
I'm happy to take that, but it seems odd me taking it when you're asking the question, Danny, since you had that, the main function. I think we're doing really good work. The client experience team have got Unison a really good positioning on socials. Many people compliment me on that. We're getting good reach. The team are getting out and about, making connections and getting referrals. We're getting about one referral a day, which is a lot more than it used to be. It'd be great to have more than that. But I think we're doing everything that we can do for the time being. We are having new clients enter our services at a far greater rate than we had previously. I've set a target for a long time that we needed to go get 2 new silk clients each month. And on average, we're not making that. In some months, we do achieve that. But when I started, it was 1 client in the previous 12 months. So we've got a lot of work to do ahead of us, but I'm confident we'll get these new clients. I think having the new SDA properties is also good because we'll be kind of drumming up business, but so will the SDA partner. So already for a couple of the new projects that our partners are coming with at least 1 each. So again, we just it's a very busy market and it's an odd time within the sector, but we're doing a good job. I think that the thing that will really make the difference is obviously the client experience. People can get out and about. And I've been really encouraged. Dan, Anthony, and the teams are really engaged and almost hungry to be able to support more clients. That's what we need. And that needs to go through all the way through. So if a client's coming for a visit or a trial day or something, make sure that they have a realistic, but like a really positive experience. The biggest advocates from a word of mouth for us to get referrals, which is the best referral pathway, word of mouth, would be from existing clients and their families. They will refer to us if they're receiving a great service. The other is you guys, DSPs and everyone in the business. There's been a few nice referrals, sometimes from previous Unison workers too. But again, I'm really proud of all of our service lines at Unison. Again, we can always do a little bit better, but I think between one line of business and another, people should be proud and make referrals where possible. Then we'll have a more sustainable and a more bouncy organization.
Thank you, Lee. And the last one I've just realized isn't a question, but more of a statement. So I think you're all doing an unreal job. Some of our workloads are completely insane at the moment, but I have full faith and trust in the ELT that it's all worth it in the long run. Thank you for all. And that's it.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. That concludes the session. I'm just going to go next door and say hello to some of the guys who've been watching on the large screen. So Hans is going to follow me. Who've been watching on the large screen. So Hans is going to follow me. Elements of surprise is gone. Should we? Yeah. Who graduated today? Hands up. On behalf of everyone at Unison, congratulations on your horticulture graduation. Yeah. Let's say goodbye to everyone. Thank you, Lee. Bye, Lee. Bye.